Hey, have you taken a look at your IT budget recently? And did you get a little bit of sticker shock? If you're wondering why everything is getting so expensive, well, you're definitely not alone. We're going to unpack this massive shift that's happening in tech, and it's putting pressure on businesses, well, pretty much everywhere. And it really all boils down to one simple question. Yeah, this is the one, isn't it? The question that's probably on your mind, especially if you're a business owner. You go to do a hardware refresh, right? Maybe a new server, a bunch of new PCs for the team, and bam. The price tag is just way higher than you thought it would be. So what on earth is going on? Well, the short answer, the culprit, is a global AI-driven memory crunch. And I mean a massive one. It's almost entirely because of the crazy, explosive growth of artificial intelligence. Now, this isn't just some little blip on the radar, a small market fluctuation. No, this is like a fundamental rewiring of the entire tech supply chain. It's a big deal. Okay, so first things first, let's really dig into this hardware price shock. We're going to break down exactly what market forces are at play here, creating what's pretty much a perfect storm of rising costs. So at the very heart of all this are two key things, DRAM and HBM. Now, DRAM, that's the standard memory you find in pretty much most computers. HBM, on the other hand, stands for high bandwidth memory. Think of it as the super fast, super expensive version. And because AI demand is just booming, manufacturers are being forced to prioritize making that high-end HBM. And that creates this huge domino effect for the rest of us. Right, so why? Why is AI demand shaking things up so much? It really all comes down to its incredible, almost unbelievable appetite for memory. That's the real heart of the problem. And when I say its appetite is insatiable, I am not kidding. AI servers, the machines that power all those cool new tools we're all starting to play with, they need absolutely insane amounts of the most advanced, high-performance memory you can get. So, to cash in on this gold rush, manufacturers are shifting literally all of their focus to making these high-margin products. This really paints a perfect picture of the difference, doesn't it? Look, on one side, you've got these giant AI servers just gobbling up massive amounts of HBM and top-tier DRAM. They get first dibs, priority production. And on the other side? Well, that's your standard office PC. It just needs regular DRAM, but now it's basically fighting for the scraps, competing for whatever's left over. And this whole situation creates what's known as a supply squeeze. The bottom line is this. With fewer memory chips being made for regular old servers and PCs, the ones that are still available, they get a lot more expensive. It's just classic supply and demand, really, but it's happening on a massive global scale, and it's all being supercharged by AI. Okay, so that's the why, but how does this global trend actually hit your wallet? What does it mean in real dollars and cents for your business? Let's get into the hard numbers and the real-world impacts. And you need to know, this is not just a one-time price hike, not at all. It's a trend that's actually accelerating, and it's hitting hardware budgets hard. Get this. In 2025 alone, DRAM prices have already jumped by a staggering 50%. I mean, in some cases, some of the most important memory modules have literally doubled in price just since the beginning of the year. Doubled. And it's not stopping there. The trend is set to continue. Forecasters like the folks at Counterpoint Research are expecting another price jump of up to 30% just by the end of this year. And if that wasn't enough, on top of all of that, we could be staring down the barrel of another 20% increase as we get into early 2026. This is a long-term, sustained period of rising costs that we all really need to start preparing for, like, right now. And look, it's not just one analyst group saying this. Here's TrendForce, another big player in market analysis, and they've actually had to revise their own forecast upward. That's how fast this market is moving. When experts have to keep raising their predictions, you know the pressure is really on. So, okay, what does this actually mean for your day-to-day business? Well, for starters, your regular hardware refresh cycle, it's going to cost you more, a lot more. You might also be looking at longer wait times to even get new equipment. And you know those big vendor discounts you could usually count on? Yeah, those are probably going to start drying up. And hey, if your business relies on memory-heavy stuff like data analytics or graphic design, you are going to feel this squeeze more than anyone. Okay, so that's the bad news. That's the problem. But here's the good news. You don't have to just sit there and take this hit to your budget. Let's pivot now and talk about what you can actually do. We've got a proactive playbook full of actionable advice you can start using today. All right, here are 5 really smart ways you can get ahead of this thing. Step 1, take a hard look at your upgrade timelines. Seriously, with prices climbing, it might actually be cheaper to buy now instead of waiting. Step 2,
prioritize. You gotta focus your spending on the critical systems, the ones that actually drive revenue for your business. Third, try to extend the life cycle of the hardware you already own. Sometimes a simple memory upgrade is way cheaper than buying a whole new machine. Fourth step, get creative. Think about refurbished hardware or maybe moving some non-critical tasks to the cloud. And finally, number 5, and this one is super important, when you're planning your budget for 2026, you absolutely need to build in a buffer for IT hardware. We're talking 15 to 25%, just to be safe.
All right, let's start to wrap this up by taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. Because what we're talking about here isn't some short-term crisis. This is about learning to budget for a completely new reality. The number one thing to take away from all this is that the massive demand for memory from the world of AI, it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay strong for the foreseeable future. And that means the pressure on the rest of the hardware market is going to continue. So strategic planning, it's not just a nice to have anymore, it is absolutely essential. And that really brings us to maybe the most important point of all. Just being aware of this, understanding why your costs are going up, that is the most powerful first step you can take. Because that awareness is what lets you shift from being reactive and just getting hit with surprise bills to being proactive. You can navigate this market strategically and not let it throw your business off course. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. This whole memory crunch, it's really just one symptom of a much, much bigger shift that's happening. It's forcing all of us to think about our long-term strategy in a world that is being fundamentally reshaped by AI. So the real question is your business ready for that future?